The Invincible Teams podcast is powered by Evergreen. Evergreen provides teamwork, training, and consulting to help your team thrive in every season. If you want to have a team that makes other leaders jealous, get started by going to their website in the show notes and scheduling your free consultation today. Welcome to Invincible Teams, a podcast for team leaders and business owners who are tired of dealing with drama and politics, high turnover, and teams not meeting their potential. We know that team leaders and business owners like you are pretty much always under pressure to get the most out of your teams. And we believe that every team should reach their potential, and that if we get intentional, our teams can become invincible. Hey, welcome back to the Invincible Teams podcast. I'm your host, Ryan Mayfield. Today, just got a quick update for you guys about the podcast, a couple of quick announcements here. First of all, I'm excited to be welcoming a new co-host to the show. If you have listened to previous episodes, you might have heard my interview with Alexis Gervin. And Alexis is going to be joining me on the podcast regularly now to talk about some different things. I'm excited to have her on. Go ahead and connect with her. She's on Instagram and LinkedIn. We'll put those links in the show notes. But super excited to have her here. She brings some awesome energy to this show. I'm excited for her to be able to interact with you guys. Also, just a lot of practical knowledge when it comes to many of the tools that we love to share. And so I think you're really going to enjoy having her on here and sharing some of her knowledge with you. Second, we're going to be changing up the format a bit once again, and I'm excited about that as well. We've had an awesome run of some really interesting guests over the past few months, and so if you haven't listened to those already, I would strongly encourage you to go back and listen to those. We've had everything from authors who have new books out to career people with NASA, people growing, thriving businesses. We've had artists, we've had serial entrepreneurs. We even had last week a U.S. Navy SEAL who's got some really incredible experience to share. And so really, if you haven't listened to those, go back and pick out some of the ones that seem most interesting to you and give them a listen. So we've had that going on, and we're still going to keep interviews. We're going to keep doing those as we go, but we just probably won't air them quite as often. Those are longer episodes, and I know that can be a lot to get through on a weekly basis. And so the interviews we're going to do less often, probably once per month, I'm thinking. But then the other episodes that we'll have, they'll be shorter, and they're going to focus on either one tool or one idea that they're designed to be very, very practical, right? Designed for you to go and apply it in your team that day. And so Alexis and I are going to be hashing through those, and maybe some other guests every now and then jumping on to help out. And I think you're going to find it really, really insightful and just useful for you, for your team, wherever you're at, whatever kind of industry that you're in. So don't go anywhere. Check those out when we come back. If you have ideas or feedback for the podcast, we want to hear from you. You can shoot us an email. I'll put that also in the show notes, or connect on all the different socials. So with that said, we are going to take a few weeks off here just to prep some new content, but we should be back in April. Okay? Thanks for listening today to the Invincible Teams podcast. We'll see you next time. Thanks for listening today to the Invincible Teams podcast. Please consider giving us a rating and a review on whatever podcast platform you are currently using. If you think today's content might be useful for someone you know, please consider sharing it with them. Just a reminder that the Invincible Teams podcast is brought to you by Evergreen. Evergreen provides teamwork training and consulting to help you eliminate office drama and turnover and help you get the most out of your team. Thanks again for listening. And like we always say, we believe that every team should reach their potential, and that if we get intentional, our teams can become invincible. See you next time.